Good morning. Welcome back to It's a Long Way Through. So, quite often, people will ask me, what do you do for work? And I answer back to them, I count in Japanese. And you're probably like, what is he talking about? So, this leads into what I want to talk to you about today. And I gotta go back 45 years to when I was in school. It became very clear for me as a kid that school wasn't my thing. I struggled. You can label me with a learning disability if you want or whatever. Had a hard time with spelling, still do. Understanding, words and stuff like that. It just, of a visual learner, it was hard for me to sit there in a classroom and take it all in. It just really was. So I knew from an early age college was not going to be in the books for me. That wasn't going to be in the plans for me. It just wasn't my thing. And that's okay. It is what it is. But what was I going to do for a living? And, I grew up in an era where people started telling you can do whatever you want to do as long as you put your mind to it. But that wasn't enough for me. I definitely felt like I wanted to do something that I was passionate about. Well, I had started my training in karate back in 1990. Growing up in a small town in New Hampshire, there wasn't any karate schools or anything like that up till then. I grew up like so many young men looking at black belt magazines, Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, and I was fascinated by it. And I had played around with some kickboxing in high school with a couple other guys, and there was a particular coach that knew some stuff about it. But I wanted to do karate, and it was something that fascinated me. So in 1990, I got the chance to do it, and probably about the time I got to my brown belt, I think the teacher asked me if I wanted to be an assistant teacher and start helping out teaching. And I did, and I liked it. It was something that made sense to me. I enjoyed it. I felt like I was helping people get out of that sun there. And I said to myself back then, boy, this is something I think I can do for work. I can be a sensei. I can count in Japanese. Ich, ni, san, chi, and so on and so on. And, but life happened. I earned my first degree black belt, and ended up moving from that town, moving north. And there wasn't a karate school in that style that I really enjoyed. I ended up finding somebody that was teaching, another sensei that was teaching the same style. And I ended up dabbling in other arts, judo and some other stuff. But I continued my Weichi, the Weichi-ryu, my karate training, which is called Weichi-ryu. And always in the back of my mind, I got married and raising two girls. And always in the back of my mind, boy, it was always there. Boy, if I won the lottery, I'd stop working and open up a dojo. Well, I think it was 2008. Recession came, hit us pretty heavy. I was in the building industry. I was a field rep. I traveled all over New England. And for this particular company, it fabricated with DuPont Corian and Formica laminates, and they were in the kitchen bath industry. And it became very clear things were slowing down. The building industry took a big hit. And right about 2010, I wasn't sure. For the first time in my life, I thought I was going to get laid off. And 2000, and they held on to me. About 2010, it wasn't getting any better. I'd found a guy in the town that we were living in at the time, or my wife did. My wife at that time found a guy, and she was working with the Girl Scouts. My two daughters were involved. Found a guy that was teaching a different style called Shorin-ryu. And he was familiar with Weichi. And my wife wanted me to check him out because she wanted to do something with him, with the Girl Scouts. He had a small dojo. Make a long story short, I made a connection with this guy, and I ended up teaching on Sundays. And I had a group of people, and then from Sunday, it was Monday nights, Tuesday nights. One thing led into another, and before I knew it, I'd pretty much taken over his dojo at that point. And I was working a full-time job. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to make this happen. I can't keep working a full-time job and then working all these nights. And finally, I decided, I got laid off. So I think it was about 2011, I got laid off, which hit hard. I'd never been laid off. And thank goodness I had the dojo. This is probably a couple of years into the dojo going. Had enough income coming off the dojo. And we survived it. And I ended up going and making the decision at that point, well, you know what? I've got to really make a go at this. And I went part-time as an independent rep, and I started repping for another company on my own terms. I was my own person. And that allowed me to spend more hours at the dojo while still bringing in an income, a supplement. And before I knew it, 2015 rolled around, about 4 years after I opened. It could have been 2014. And I left that completely and went full-time with my dojo. And I'll throw a picture up here of my dojo right now. It's a big dojo, and big in the size of the dojo itself. At one point, my ex-wife and myself, she ended up coming to work with me full-time. She was a school teacher, and she asked me if at one point she could come and work. Or we talked about it. She didn't ask me, but she asked me what my thoughts were on it. That was a big mistake, but that's for another video. Anyway, this is my point. I am so fortunate that I can do something for a living that I'm passionate about. Don't get me wrong. When you're a business owner, there's good and bad. And it's not all roses all the time. But to do something that I'm passionate about, and that gives back to others, and it's just unbelievable. And I would encourage you all to find something. I don't care what it is. And find something you can do for a living that you're passionate about. I'm not going to be one of those people that tell you that, you'll never work another day in your life if you do something you're passionate about. That's BS. I'm sorry, but I don't mean to ruin it for some people, but there's headaches when you own your own business. However, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Again, doing something you're passionate about, especially when you can give back to people, and it's something that's good for them. It's very, very rewarding. And I'm very fortunate to do that. And I would encourage all of you, find that thing. I don't care. It could be cleaning up dog poop. And I'm not joking. People make a living doing that now. It could be picking up people's garbage. It could be whatever it is. If you're passionate about it and you find joy out of it, I don't know why you would but being your own boss, it could be sewing. It could be, I don't know, carpentry, whatever. Find whatever it is and start doing it, and you'll be rewarded for sure. Hey, that's all I got today. And that's how I ended up counting in Japanese, or a brief story of it, 1 through 10. I hope it can encourage some of you and to go do something you're passionate about. Hey, take care. We'll catch you on the next video.